what is happening in LA County, the reason you have this huge spike in gang crimes, is because it's Christmas time in Los Angeles. There is no punishment.
No punishment? But we have police officers arresting these gang members, and our courts are filled to overflowing with thousands of prosecutions every day. Steve Ipsen is the president of the Association of Deputy District Attorneys and has spent the last 20 years prosecuting murderers, rapists, and gang members. He is totally frustrated by the catch and release policy of our correction system.
If you're a trucker, you know the price of gas, and you know if it's cheap to buy gas at Costco, that's where you'll fill up. Or if down the Grapevine there's a station there, that's where you fill up. Criminals know the price of crime. Okay? Before they commit the crime. They're aware of it.
So criminals know that the correction system in California is a toothless tiger with no capacity to do anything more than inconvenience perpetrators. Deputy District Attorney Ibsen explains the tremendous discounting that goes on every day in California jails and prisons.
We don't have room in the county jail. And not because Sheriff Baca doesn't want to have room. He's fighting for funding. He'd like to lock up criminals for the full year. If you're sentenced to 1 year in LA County, you're doing maybe 2 weeks, and you're let out. And we don't have space for them. In California, the 10 years prior to 3 strikes, there were 19 prisons built. Okay? Since 3 strikes, there have been 0 new prisons built. And this is politicians, and this is an orchestrated shutdown of our penal system, saying, fine, 3 strikes, you're gonna implement it. We're not going to give you anywhere to put them. We're going to create a crisis, so sometime down the line, there will be too many people in prison, you'll have to let them out. That was 10 years ago that decision was made by politicians that won't build prisons.
Orchestrated shutdown? Mr. Ibsen seems to think that the crises we are currently facing with the federal judge threatening to take over the state prisons was purposely planned by elected officials years ago.
When politicians decide we're not going to build more prisons because we don't like the 3 strikes law, we're going to let overcrowding occur, and then some poor governor down the line who happens to be Governor Schwarzenegger has federal judges staring down his, staring at him saying, you better do something or we're going to release him. And we've got a governor here who's been sabotaged by a plan orchestrated 10 years ago. Where were the plans to build more prisons? Didn't they think California's population would increase? Didn't they see there's an illegal immigration problem, huge percentages? Didn't they see that? Of course they did. But this is an orchestrated sabotage.
Orchestrated sabotage? Mr. Ibsen is very vocal in his condemnation of current elected officials in Sacramento who allocate money for social welfare programs rather than spending our taxes on critically needed public safety programs.
I think your viewers would be shocked. What percentage of our taxes are going to protecting us in public safety by building prisons and a place to put these dangerous people? We put billions of dollars into police to arrest them, prosecutors to prosecute them, judges to judge them, beautiful court buildings made out of marble, an incredible amount of money, and then we have nowhere to house them. It's catch and release. I mean, it's nuts. You get a 50% discount on every prison sentence. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, a judge says 4 years, prison lets you out in 2 years. Judge says a year in county jail, the sheriff has no space, he lets you out in 2 weeks. The criminals know it.
So the criminals play the system like a lottery. They try not to get caught, but if they do, no big deal. They get processed through the revolving door once again. Are any of our elected officials doing anything to resolve this impending crisis, we ask him?
Now we've got a governor who last year proposed bond packages for building prisons, and that didn't make it through. The legislature shut it down. This year I think he has new proposals to build more prisons. We need to build the prisons. We have a problem because the judges are doing their jobs. They're sentencing people. They're saying, I've looked at this individual. You hear about 170,000 people in prison? They didn't get sentenced all at once. They got handled one at a time. A prosecutor like me spent hours looking at this case, determining what the proper plea was, or either that or trying it for days. The judge spent hours deciding what is the right punishment for this guy. I'm not going to give him the max. I'm not going to give him nothing. This is what he needs. That's what he should get.
So our police have the latest gadgets to apprehend the bad guys, and we have magnificent courthouses in which to prosecute them. But apparently no one is looking behind the courthouses, where the buses line up to cart the bad guys away to serve their time.
What percentage are we of our tax dollars going to keeping people locked up that the system says are dangerous and needs to be punished? About 8%. I think that is a crime in and of itself.
According to Mr. Ibsen, the public needs to stand up and demand that their elected officials take immediate action to correct this critically important situation.
In my view, the primary responsibility of government is protecting us. Okay? I love libraries, but I can buy my own books. Okay? I love, both my parents are educators, and I think education is wonderful, but I can do homeschooling. What I can't do by myself, and what the folks out there can't do by themselves, is when their kid's molested, they can't go arrest the child molester and lock them up in their basement. Okay? When their wife is raped, they can't go arrest the rapist and lock them up for 20 years. We're counting on government to lock up people who are dangerous. We're counting on government to protect us.
And government is failing in its responsibility to protect us. By systematically reducing prescribed sentences, our correction system is taking away the punishment value from incarceration. Bad guys know that arrest is nothing more than a minor inconvenience, even for serious crimes.
We do not have truth in sentencing. We've got massive discounting going on. If the people knew it, they'd be outraged. The criminals know it. And when they know that a year means 2 weeks, they get released, they're back out committing crimes again. They're laughing at the system because there is no punishment.
Mr. Ibsen sees that this has gone way beyond serious.
It's gotten to crisis proportions now, where if the federal judge says, release 30,000 people, who do you release from prison? And who's going to pay the price? Because I'm pretty sure that the 30,000 people are not going to be released into that federal judge's neighborhood. They're going to be released into South Central LA, into the poor communities that we arrested many of these criminals from. And it's the public's going to pay the price when you release 30,000 criminals. And we've failed our primary role in government, which is protecting the public.
We want to know what you, the viewers, think. Please respond to our survey and leave your comments below. Number 1, would you be willing to pay more taxes to build more prisons and jails? Yes or no? Number 2, would you be willing to have a prison or jail built near your neighborhood? Yes or no? And number 3, when you vote, do you consider the candidate's position on jails and prisons? Yes or no? Please respond to our survey and leave your comments below. Thank you. As you can see, Full Disclosure is not in the business of distorting the news. We're not in the business of trying to convince our viewers, only to inform them. We're a nonprofit educational organization. We provide the platform and the vehicle where you can hear the various perspectives. It's up to you, the viewers, to determine what is right and what is wrong. If you want Full Disclosure to continue to shine the light of truth on important issues that the mainstream media just won't do, then we need your support. There are so many important issues facing our communities, our state, and our nation, and your tax-deductible contribution can help us get the word out to continue informing the public. You are invited to join the Friends of Full Disclosure. Your support will help assure that we can reach more and more people and improve the production quality of our programs. All you have to do is send us the much-needed support using PayPal. Just click on the link below and join at whatever level you can afford. Our goal is government accountability. When the people are informed on the issues, then the people in government must do what is right, because they know we're watching. Together we can make a difference, but we need your support to continue bringing you the news behind the news. Please contribute what you can. Thank you.